Alright, today it is March 24th. As I said earlier, it's definitely springtime in the Salt Lake Valley, but right here, at getting up to 6,000 feet, even on sunny areas like this, it doesn't seem like much is happening. Maybe some of the grass is green already, and some plants are starting to come up, but it's not a whole lot, so let's see what signs of spring we can just find. So much of the rock in Millcreek Canyon is limestone, which is very good for endemics. Limestone is it's not very good of a substrate to grow on for plants, so we have to often adapt, become better suited to it, which leads to endemism. But I don't know if there's that many endemic, any limestone endemics in this part of Utah. I'm gonna have to look that up a bit more. But yeah, limestone is calcium carbonate, which, if you don't know, is somewhat soluble in water, so oftentimes you'll find caves because the water slowly dissolves the calcium carbonate and seeps through it easily and washes it away, leaving these caves behind. I know there's a few in this area, but I'm not sure where we are. So now we're about 6,000 feet up, pretty much almost exactly, like within just a couple feet really, and not a whole lot is coming up now. A lot of herbaceous plants, none of the leaves or trees are leafing out yet, but I'm sure we can find something here. Like this Alyssum desertorum, I think. I'm not sure what the second part of the scientific name is, but it's a species of Alyssum. Sadly, it's not native. It's a weed brought over from Gerezia, and it's just everywhere. So yeah, it's pretty invasive, and that's not exactly what I was hoping to see, but it's a plant at least. There's a ton of Euphorbia myrsinites in this canyon, much to the degree that it's probably going to be impossible to control ever. That's kind of pissing me off a bit, but there's, on the bright side, some Eriogonum here and there. Like all of them there. I don't know what species it is, but you can see right there is an Eriogonum. Again, I'm not sure what species it is because it's still dormant, but it's definitely what it is. From the family Polygonaceae, and you can see it has these sort of nodes on the stem points. Yeah, they're not very visible here, but they do exist. And there's some more clumps of them all around the slope, so that's pretty positive, I guess. Okay, so as we get deeper into the canyon, it's getting more shaded, and so the ground retains more water, allowing taller trees to grow like these ones here. Now we've got mostly a forest of Acer grandidentatum or big tooth maple, and maybe for the trees right there you can see there's either some aspens or cottonwoods growing over there. Yeah. So right here is a Prunus virginiana, and it's just starting to undergo bud break. It is one of the first species that is native to actually undergo this process. Some herbaceous species, of course, will beat it, but as far as trees go, it's one of the first to actually leaf out and respond to the warming temperatures. The ones in my yard are already doing quite well and are already well on their way of leafing out, but the ones here are only just getting started at 6,000 feet up. Okay, so this right here is a Lomatium Boniculasium, also known as desert spring parsley. It's a pretty small plant. I use my hand for comparison, and it is everywhere here. And it's one of the first to come up and flower. So it's a member of the carrot family, Apiaceae, as you can tell because it's got this compound umbel, which I'll show you a diagram in a second, but it's like got these autoflower pedicels come out of one point, but instead of leading to just another flower, they lead to another set of umbel at each of which then leads to the flower. So that's what a compound umbel is. And that's characteristic of the Apiaceae family. And not every plant in it will have that, and not every plant that's a compound umbel will be an Apiaceae, but it's quite indicative usually. They also have these sheathing leaves, which I can't really see on here, but on some other species around here, you can find them. I used to think this was actually a Cymopterus species because the Cymopterus tend to be kind of smaller while Lomatiums are usually larger. But that turned out to be incorrect. It's just, this is indeed a Lomatium. And really the only way to tell apart a Lomatium and a Cymopterus is that a Cymopterus, their seeds have these sort of wings on them, while Lomatiums have these smaller, less pronounced ridges. And even then there's one species that sort of crosses the gap between the two. So it's a pretty tricky to tell them apart, unfortunately, but whatever. Also right here in the same spot there are some Astragalus coming up, so known as Milcreek. I can't tell you what species it is right now. There's no flower and there's so many damn species of Astragalus. Like just in the West alone there's 500, but the world over there's over 3,000. It's the single largest, most species diverse plant genus. So it's really hard to tell apart, and especially without a flower, but it is definitely Astragalus. They tend to be kind of herbaceous like.
Here's what I found.
What the fuck was that? Sorry about that. I guess Siri was listening into that whole conversation for a second and startled me a bit. But yeah, there's a ton of species of Astragalus. It's really difficult to tell them apart. Again, without a flower, but it's got the compound leaves like most members of the Fabaceae, and nothing like going for a hike on some snow and suddenly you sink down to halfway down your shin. But anyways, this is where I made my first video actually. It's the snow's melted quite a bit more, as you can see. It's quite a bit less. But yeah, that's Cornus sericea, or as I was calling it just a week ago, Cornus stolonifera. It technically does go by that name sometimes, but it really is more proper to call it Cornus sericea, or red osier dogwood. Pretty nice plant. But it's not contrasting against the snow so much as it used to because a lot of it's melted. We got a real nice bunch of that Lomatium growing right here. Quite a lot of them coming up, and there's sure to be more in the future, hopefully. Okay, so on this talus pile I just found this plant, and I'm not sure what it is, but it looks really cool. I think it might be, if I had to guess, a connect species or a dusty maiden, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll keep an eye on this spot in the coming months though, to see if anything blooms from it. Also up here, found another Astragalus variety. It might be the same one, but this one seems a bit different. This one is hairy. I don't think the other ones were hairy. I have to check the footage again to make sure. But that's also pretty cool too. I'm gonna look out for this one and see what developments it has as I hike this trail in the coming weeks and months. Okay, and one more plant for today. This is Gutierrezia sarothrae, also known as snakeweed or broom snakeweed. It's a genus of 4 species in Utah. Well, I guess there's species elsewhere, but there's 4 of them in Utah is what I meant to say. But this one is definitely sarothrae because all the other ones are found in different parts of the state. This is also the most common abundant one, and I like it because it's a very hardy plant. It's a strong competitor and lives in tough to live places like this slope. And also it, once it gets to September, develops these really lovely yellow flowers that are quite beautiful and can really light up the whole mountainside at times. So yeah, it's just a good plant in general. So anyways, there's not a whole lot of signs of springs out here at the moment, but they're coming along. I mean, that snakeweed back there wasn't really doing anything interesting yet, but yeah, it's only March 24th. The seasons are gonna start really changing up here in just a couple of weeks, I think, and it's already happening in the valley, so that's pretty nice. Anyways, thanks for watching again. Have a nice day.